Thank you. Welcome back. I'm here with Demi Lovato. And a bit later, Hollywood royalty, Angelina Jolie. I shall be talking to her. But it's time now for my next guest. Now, he's the suave English actor who's romped around in Rome as Mark Antony. He slayed monsters as Solomon Kane, and he's just finished terrifying everybody in the following. Will you please put your hands together for Mr. James Purefoy? Let me hear you. James, it's good to see.
How lovely to be here. I'm a Somerset lad, and I was down there this morning.
What is this? It's not a specimen, is it, James? You brought.
Wait till you pour it in a glass. It'll look just like a specimen. This is we make cider. We've got a few apple trees.
Yeah.
This, my little friend, is for you.
Oh. Do you know something? I've got apple trees as well, and I tried to make apple juice and cider. Left it in the pantry for 3 weeks. It was vinegar.
Yeah. No, don't do that.
So what's the secret to making cider?
It's not making sure there's no air can get into it. Oh, God, it does look like a specimen. It really does. Yeah.
It's a bit cloudy, I'd say.
It should be cloudy. It shouldn't be...
I'd say you've got about 2 weeks left.
It shouldn't be fizzy. Go on, try. I think it's a specimen.
That's lovely.
It's lovely, isn't it?
That's a real McCoy, that.
That's I get some.
That's it. I love these people. Bring me in a gift and then you want to stop it all. Here you go, James.
Thank you, my love. Thank you very much.
Where's mine?
Do you want some? Do you want some? You're too young, madam, to be drinking this kind of stuff.
Just kidding.
Lethal stuff. This is the kind of stuff Granny Clampett used to make on the Beverly Hillbillies.
I have no idea what that means.
Oh. Why do I feel so old? James, the following. My Lord. It's one of the scariest, goriest programmes I've ever watched. It's brilliant.
It gets under your skin, doesn't it?
How did an English literature teacher, nice, mild-mannered English, become this horrific serial killer?
Do you know, I can't really tell you that because we're pre-Watershed, and obviously he's a serial killer, so there's some very, very screwed-up, mad things that go on in his mind, and the backstory is particularly... I don't tell anybody the backstory because even I find it too scary.
It's very, isn't it? I believe your partner's scared of you now since...
Well, she's not scared of me now.
Go away, I've heard she's there with a chair.
No, but what...
Get back.
What she is that she can't watch it anymore. Obviously, we're on the couch together.
Yeah.
And we started watching it because I liked to have a look at it once, and after 3 episodes she went, nope, that's it. No more.
I'm lying in bed with the serial killer.
Because I'm lying in bed with Joe Carroll. I can't have that. Because he's a very frightening man. The premise of the show is that he's a serial killer who is the leader of a cult of other serial killers.
Yeah.
Sounds dreamy.
It's really scary. I mean, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's very scary.
And do you know what I love as well? You just think you've sorted out all the various characters, and then they do something which is completely out of character, and you think, hang on a minute, what's going on here?
Well, it's a bit of a roller coaster ride. Yeah. It's written by the same guy who wrote Scream and all the Scream movies.
That makes sense then.
So it is a roller coaster ride, and it has a very strong sense of pulling the rug out of the audience's expectations, and just when you think you know what's going on, then it flips and it turns. It's
wonderful.
It's a cracking show. A lot of people watch it.
Yeah. No. Look, we've got a clip now of you in action. I hope you're not killing anybody, please.
I'll tell you.
Would you rather call the police? Tell them that you've been harbouring a serial killer for the best part of a year? Well, what do you think they're going to say when they learn that you and I were pen pals when I was in prison?
I was never part of your cult.
You did write letters declaring your love for me, saying you could fix me. And so I came here for you.
And I did fix you. For a year. You were doing so well.
I know, Judy. I know, but... You know, I finally realized that once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And to live one's entire life without having a scotch or two is really not a life worth living.
Tell you something else I enjoyed of yours, Rome.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen so much news.
Why
you see.
is that?
Joe, I was lying in bed and I took my glasses off and I thought, why have they got a close-up of a sausage roll? Until I put my glasses back on again. I thought, it's actually not a sausage roll.
No, it was just steamy.
Steamy. Did you enjoy making that?
Well, we lived in Rome for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And I was playing Mark Antony, and he's one of the great, great historical characters.
Certainly is.
You know, he used to drive around Rome, Mark Antony used to drive around Rome in a chariot, dressed as Dionysus, and the chariot was pulled by 6 lions.
That's the way to travel.
I mean, that's just...
I don't know how you guys came here, but I had 6 lions
6
out
lions,
there,
did you?
so...
Just outside.
Oh, you guys came in a car.
I came on the bus.
Got it.
Is it true you've got your own sword collection? Was this inspired by Rome, or is this something you've always collected?
I kind of do now, because I have, I've done a lot of pictures of films with swords, you know, where I've been using swords, and I always ask the sword guy at the end, can I snaffle the sword? And they always say yes, and so now I've got a dozen or so swords in an umbrella stand by my front door.
Does that deter people when they walk in, you know, and they see me?
Doesn't it? It does deter people. I had this extraordinary thing that happened where I was lying in bed one night and I heard, I've got a motorbike, and I heard somebody trying to steal the motorbike, and I went to the window and I was naked. I went to the window and I looked out to see what was going on, and there was a guy and he pulled out this huge pair of wire cutters, you know, big pliers. He was about to take the chain off, and I thought, oh, I'm going to need something here. So I go over to the sword collection, and I pick one out which I call Flow, but it's short for Florence, because you had to go with the flow on this sword. And it's huge. It's about 7 foot, 6, 7 foot high. And I go to the door and I put on a bit of backlight in my hall, because it's always good to have a bit of backlight.
Yeah, backlit. I love this, that you think of that. You've got a burglar, and you can say about your lighting.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I love that.
I open the door, I'm naked, and I've got the sword, and he looks up, he's absolutely terrified. Because I say, what do you think you're doing, taking my motorcycle? And he's terrified. I'm not sure which weapon he was more scared of. Obviously. Anyway, and he ran off. He ran off down the street. He didn't nick the bike. He left the pliers. I've still got them in my shed. 1-0 to James.
You keep them by the bed now, the pliers.
Yes, I do.
I tell you what, James, I saw you in the... give him a round of applause for that. That's how to deal with them.
Oh, please.
I saw you in Fleur Path with Sienna Miller and my mate, Sheridan Smith.
Ah, the lovely, lovely.
Doris, Countess Doris.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a great show.
It was a terrific show.
Yeah,
well loved by audiences.
Yeah.
It was a really big smash in the West End.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. People would weep all the time.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, because it was a show about bomber pilots, and the people left behind in a small hotel waiting for this crew to come home, and whether or not they would come home, and it was a heartbreaking piece.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful bit of theatre.
Yeah. Did you enjoy yourself? It sounds like you did.
I did.
Yeah.
You know, lovely. Sienna Miller, Sheridan Smith.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. You're such a nice guy. You excel at these sorts of crazy serial killers and, you know, Mark Antony and...
Yeah, they're always slightly psychotic.
Have you got a dark side? Have you got a dark twin, a good twin and a bad twin?
Well, I'm about to go and play I'm going to Cape Town on Friday to do a film there. And I'm playing he is a psychotic yet strangely charming assassin.
But they always are.
I think this yet strangely charming thing is going to follow me around a bit.
Strangely charming.
You know,
but he might chop your hand off just as...
as soon as look at you.
Yeah, don't trust him by any means.
Indeed.
And I've got pigs, and you used to work on a pig farm.
Do you have pigs?
I've got 6 New Zealand pigs.
Do you?
Yes, I love them dearly.
Do they live in the city or in the countryside?
They live down in the country with me.
Oh, marvellous.
Yeah.
Do you have them in the house?
Well, Tom comes in occasionally, but
does he?
He's like a dog. He sits when I tell him, and he stands on his hand.
Get out of here.
So, on my life, seriously, yeah.
Do you still eat bacon?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, that's good.
No.
Did you stop eating bacon once you had pigs?
I can't eat lamb either. When you've hand-reared so many lambs, you can't. You literally... I'm dreading falling in love with a lettuce, because that's me.
That's what you're saying.
I really am. Finished, James?
Yes.
Thank you so much for this.
You're more than welcome.
You do realise I'm going to be found in a skip outside GAY Saturday.
Easily.
James, it's lovely to see you again.
Thank you
Ladies
very
and
much.
gentlemen, please, put your hands together. for this very charming man, Mr. James Purefoy.
Nice
And you too.
I tell you what, my cold is getting better.
Better, of course it does.
It really is.
It's a cure for all ills. Somerset cider.
Wonderful. I'm just going to have a little sip in the ad break. But before that, I had the very rare opportunity of meeting silver screen superstar Angelina Jolie as she takes on one of the most iconic roles in film.